Hey, so today officially marks 2 weeks since I've been down here. It's amazing how well you sleep when people don't come in and bug you every 30 fucking seconds. I actually got a decent amount of sleep last night, even though it doesn't look like it. I'm still very, very tired. Uh, Basically, I asked the doctor today, my throat hurts a little bit. I asked the doctor today, what is it exactly, like, what's the goal in order for me to go home? Like, what are we trying to reach, or what are we trying to achieve? And basically he told me that as long as my white cell count is above neutropenic, which basically means above 1, it's measured in thousands, but basically as long as it's above 1, and when it hits 1, I doubt very much they're going to let me go. I'm sure they're going to want it to be a little bit above 1, but that's basically the goal right now. So at least I have kind of a closer idea of what has to happen in order for me to go home. It's not going to be just, okay, well, I guess I'll just sit here until you know, it's, you guys tell me I can go home then. So thankfully that's not the case anymore. So I have a little bit more information on that. You can probably see up in the corner there, I'm getting another blood transfusion. I've been getting blood transfusions pretty much every day since I've been in here. Which, funny, my blood type is B positive. I didn't know that until this morning. 36, and I don't know my blood type. But I imagine that's not really something that a lot of people know either. But anyway, just to give you a basic idea of where I'm at as far as my blood counts, like with where they're at now versus where they have to be to go home, I can actually go ahead and show you that real quick. So more or less, this is where my counts have been. So W is the main thing that needs to be focused on. So when W falls below 1, then that's, and I mentioned this before, that's when I'm neutropenic, which basically means that my immune system is very, very weak and that I will get sick from just about anything. You know, Google is also a good source of an explanation as far as what all that stuff means too. But anyway, I'm not sure where my counts are at now, but you can see that the counts have been steadily declining, which is exactly what they've been trying to do, because my bone marrow was messed up and producing bad white cells. And normally your body gets rid of the bad white cells, but since they were defective and not doing what they were supposed to do, the body does, you know, with leukemia, the body doesn't have any way of telling the difference. So they just build up and build up and build up and build up and build up. So they've been dropping, which is what they've been trying to do the whole time. And now we just have to build them back up. So it's more or less we just kind of sweep the area and start over. So as you can see, it's going to be probably a couple weeks before they're back up to where they need to be, because they need to be at least 1. But like I said, I doubt very much they're going to let me go at 1. They're probably going to want it to be a little bit higher than 1, just kind of to give me a cushion. At least that's been my experience with going through this in the past. I was kind of hoping since I did chemo and got it finished up, because I haven't had chemo in probably like over a week. So I kind of thought that most of the symptoms were going to be through it. Were going to be not present, I should say. Like my taste came back really quick and everything. I was kind of really hoping that the hair loss thing wasn't going to happen, since it didn't happen during. And this kind of sucks. But as you can see, I don't know how well you can see it. Yeah, that's all the hair that came out while I was pooping just now. So that's fun. Like the last time I lost my hair, I didn't really notice it until I was able to, like, you know, I'll just do this. And I'm not pulling very hard, but I don't know how well you can see on there. But yeah, last time I was able to do that, and like clumps were coming out. Like I could literally feel it coming out, but it didn't hurt at all. Like it was just sliding out. So not as much of it is coming out as when I noticed it before, but I think as time, like probably tomorrow or the next day, that's when it's going to start coming out a lot, in a lot bigger patches, probably. So, yay. My beard here is not doing it. It's just the hair on my head. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. So I got a notification from Amazon that my Roku that I ordered on Saturday night was delivered. And I put in the delivery instructions, like what floor I was on, what room number I'm in, all that kind of stuff, hoping that, like, you know, it would at least maybe not get delivered into my room directly, but at the very least, like, maybe given to, like, the nurse's desk or something. Because from what I was told, like, typically if anybody has any mail sent here, it usually sits in the mail room and takes a couple days to come up. So I was hoping to circumvent that and kind of get around things a little bit. So I got a notification saying that it was delivered today. And, yeah, unfortunately it is not in my room. So I'm kind of annoyed because, like, I don't want to watch shit on my phone. Like, all I have on, like, I can play games on my PlayStation, I can watch movies, but, like, I really don't want to do any of those things anymore. Like, there's shit I want to watch on Netflix, there's shit I want to watch on Hulu, there's, like, all the shit that I want to watch, like wrestling that I want to watch, because, like, just found a plethora of different stuff, like different resources for things, and now all I want to do is watch wrestling, and I don't want to watch it on my phone. I want to watch it on the TV, and it's just it's irritating. It's not even a big deal. It's just it'll be here eventually, but yeah, it's just annoying, and not like annoying like shit was annoying yesterday, but just it's an inconvenience at best. Like, it's a slight inconvenience at best, but I don't know. Day is almost over today anyway. It's like 20 after 4, so I don't know. I mean, I don't want to do anything. Like, I'm that kind of bored where just nothing sounds appealing to do. Like, I've got, every time I scroll through the list of games on here, like hang on, I'll show you. So, like, I have a folder set up for my games on my PS4. Oh, I stopped looking away for a minute. And, like, if you look over here, if you're curious on that, that's, like, emulators and old stuff that, basically I don't have any content for. It's just there. I just haven't set up yet. But, yeah, if you look, like, I have a ton of games on here. Like, you would think that I would have no issues finding something to play, and yet there isn't a single one of those games that I want to play. Like, I almost feel like I have to force myself to play something. Like, even beyond that, like, my Nintendo Switch. Well, let me move my wallet. Like, my Nintendo Switch is sitting right there, and I've got, like, just as many games on that, plus the emulators and the old games and different things like that, and I don't want to play any of them. Like, I have just no drive or motivation to any of it. But I don't know, just, that's the hardest thing about being in here. Well, that's not the hardest. Well, I don't know, maybe, I guess you could say maybe it is. Because it sounds selfish to say that that's the hardest, because, you know, I haven't seen my son in, you know, over 2 weeks now. But, you know, like, the boredom is, like, something that I'm directly faced with constantly throughout the day. So, yeah, like, I would say that probably is, like, it sounds fucked up to say, but I would say that's probably the hardest thing about being in here. But obviously, not seeing Cameron, not seeing Mandy, it's pretty fucking hard too, because I just want to go home and, like, get back to my life, you know, like, and see my kid and see my girlfriend, and, like, I know I'm not going to be able to work for a little while, but at the very least, you know, at least be comfortable at home if I'm not working. Even if I'm bedridden the whole time, I'd rather be bedridden at home than in a hospital. So, you know, I got kind of venty there for a minute. But today's day 15, and
hopefully we can get my white blood cell count up to where it needs to be pretty sooner rather than later. So the sooner that gets up, from my understanding at least, the sooner that I can go home. Potentially I'm at the halfway point right now. So we'll see.